All right. So I'm tired of the whole slap thing. I'm as tired as anybody is. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't find it interesting. I'm kind of, I don't know. I think maybe I'd find with Chris Rock, hearing more from Chris Rock, I would find maybe that interesting. I think I would still find that interesting, but nothing else. Nothing else concerning the slap and everyone's yelling. I mean, of course, what Will Smith did was wrong. I don't even know why we're debating that. Of course, that's wrong. Of course, I condemn those actions as well. Of course, yes, yes. And I have to say that up front because it's going to sound like I am defending and justifying Will Smith by what I'm about to say. It's going to sound like that, but that's not what I'm doing. So I'm condemning those actions. It's not what I'm doing. All right. I am interested in the mental health aspect of all this. Like what had to have been going on in Will Smith for him to do something like that? That I find interesting, and the whole build-up I find interesting. Of finally exploded, but that build-up to the explosion that is the slap, that I find interesting, and I find something to learn from it as well. As far as all of us taking better care of our mental health. So that's what I want to focus on. But before I do that, I really got to focus more on Will Smith's rise, like what he's accomplished, his resume a bit, just briefly. And bear with me because I am going somewhere with all this. But I focus on Will Smith, the rapper. All right. Regardless of what you think about his rap, whether you like it or not, very successful as a rapper. I mean, and the fact that he was rapping like he was like happy and like he didn't curse or anything like that, not rapping about no foolishness and stuff like that. And to be able to do that and be successful at it is real hard to do. I mean, you don't see anybody doing that, like hardly ever. I mean, Ye tried a little bit with the gospel album, and then that didn't last long, right? It just you don't. I mean, I guess Black Eyed Peas maybe. You just don't. There's not a whole lot of rappers able to do that, do it well, and be successful. And then you have him with the Fresh Prince. I look at that show on the level kind of like with the Cosby Show of showing black people in like a positive light and a different light, especially for back then. You take a look at Will Smith, the movie star, and you know who knows how many times the man saved the world. You know what I'm saying? Saved the city. Becoming just the amazing blockbuster star that he became. The doors that he opened for black people. Just people changing the way, helping people change the way they view black men. Just by his accomplishments, the icon that he became, the family man he became, him as a husband, as a father. He wrote some books. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the man has had an incredible career, had an incredible positive impact on the black community, and yet I don't know that he's ever gotten the respect that he's deserved for all that. I think despite all that climb, there's still been some disrespect or just a lack of appreciation throughout all that. Now, some of this is self-inflicted because he's let a lot of people into his world, right? He's been very transparent, and with that, especially in the age of social media, it's going to cause some problems. His wife has added to some of this, the ridicule that's come his way. Now, I don't want to get into all that, but what I will say that does add to all the mental health stuff, right? So all this stuff is building up, the disrespect from all different sides. And meanwhile, while he's so successful in all these different ways, he's still so daggone likable, right? And it's hard to be liked by the majority. Like, and it's impossible to be liked by the majority unless you're sacrificing like certain things that you would like to say, certain things you would like to do, but you hold back. Again, you're holding it all in. You're pressing it down because you want to be liked. Maybe you need to be liked for your career. And to me, there's a lesson here of just self-care. I know I can relate. I'm a very busy person. Some of y'all, maybe you are as well. And, things pile up. Maybe things with kids, things with work. Maybe someone said something that's just staying with you. Maybe it's your physical health or your mental health. All those things. Maybe you have like some sort of mental illness or something like that. So it can be all kinds of stuff with your community, the lack of sleep, you know what I'm saying? All big things to small things all build up, and you're just you keep going, right? That's kind of how our culture is. We just keep going, we keep pressing. And if we don't keep going, then we're viewed as weak, which is why a lot of people don't want to get the help that they need. And we might know, when we're alone, that we feel bogged down, we feel just worn out, but we don't want to get the help. We don't want to admit that we're feeling weak, right? And I believe that's what was happening with Will Smith for decades of this. Not condoning anything that he did, okay? I already condemned those actions. I'm just interested in that. And I feel like we can all kind of hopefully relate to that. And the thing that's blown my mind throughout all this, I guess it's just the nature of social media, like our lack of self-awareness. That we should be able to relate to bad moments that people have, or bad things that people say, because none of us are perfect in anything that we do or say, compared to the things that we claim that we believe, or the people that we claim that we want to be. We're none of us are perfect in that sense. And yet, when it comes to social media, when it comes time to point fingers at people and to condemn people, we forget that. So that's what I'm just saying, is that we can learn from all this. We got to take the time out when those things are piling up and be able to, if we need to get help to do this, we get help, but like to be able to pick apart, all right, these things are wrong inside. I need to deal with these things. Maybe knock them out one by one, whatever you got to do. And maybe there's problems at home, dealing with that. If you do have some sort of mental illness, you're managing that, you're getting what you need. If you need medicine, you take care of that. If it's your physical health, you take care of that. If it's your diet, if it's your lack of sleep, whatever it is, your kids, whatever it is, but if it's your job, I know people their jobs are so stressful, and you can see how worn down they are, and yet they don't want to take the time to deal with it. And you can see them deteriorating in many ways. And we have to kind of take a pause and deal with that. Otherwise, we're going to explode. But there's just such a thing in our culture as well, just like a lust for money and a lust for power and a lust for respect. And we just keep pushing ourselves and pushing ourselves. And meanwhile, all these mental health issues get tossed in the background, and we never deal with them until one day they jump out, right? So I feel like there's a real lesson there that we need to prioritize our mental health even more, especially when you feel it building up. One mental health thing or another mental health thing and another mental health thing, and it's all stacked up inside of you for years and years and years. And before you know it, there's so much inside, you don't even know where to start. I just feel like that was, I didn't feel like it was, again, I don't know. I feel like Chris Rock's comment, which wasn't really, let's break it down. Forget the morality of the joke. Just a bad joke in general. I'm not even talking about whether he should or shouldn't have made a joke about someone's medical condition, which maybe he didn't know about. But it was just a bad joke. Really, when you break it down, it's like, look at Jada Pinkett Smith. She's bald. Isn't that funny? You know what I'm saying? Remember that movie from the 90s? G.I. Jane, and she looks just like her. Isn't that funny? It's just a bad joke, right? But regardless, I feel like it was just the last drop in the bucket, and then the bucket just kind of started spilling over, and that can easily happen to any of us if we're not taking care of ourselves. Now, I want to be compassionate with Chris Rock as well, even though I think, man, he's going to benefit greatly. He probably already has from this. I read that his ticket sales for his, are on the rise. And all the interviews he's going to be able to do, people are going to be hanging on his every word as soon as he comes out and really talks about it. But I want to be compassionate because perhaps he is traumatized by it. I don't know. That's a very public thing, being smacked, humiliation, maybe, I don't know, who knows what kind of things are going to go on his head. Or maybe he's fine, and he's just waiting to get all this new money that's coming in from his specials. I don't know. But I do want to be compassionate there as well for his mental health. The whole point is, people, we got to take better care of ourselves. We got to prioritize, especially when things are building up and up and up and up. We got to take care of it early as we can. This thing, it's serious. I talk to people, again, all the time, and they don't want to take care of themselves, especially black men. For whatever reason, us in particular, do not want to take care of our mental health. We just don't do it. We just keep going. until we end up in a horrible place and it's too late. We've done something awful. Yeah. So anyway, if we just quit yelling at each other long enough, we can learn from stuff like this so we can be better, and hopefully we'll be gracious. I mean, Will Smith's going to be punished, and he should be, but hopefully we'll be able to be gracious in the future towards him. I think he's done so much positive. You know what I'm saying? I hate to see all of that ruined by that one act. We'll see. So hopefully we learn things, quit yelling so we can learn, and take care of yourself. Peace.